Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
Your heroes are back. I presume we're your heroes. Greg and Ashley. You know, Grashley.
No, absolutely not.
No?
Hard no.
Okay. We're just, I thought this was no bad ideas.
That was a very bad idea.
Okay. I misread the mission here, I guess. It's fine. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I am Greg. That is Ashley. And we are back. We did have a show on Monday, and then Pickle disappeared for another week. We both disappeared.
Yeah.
So we were on we were Pantsuit Pickle and the tie Tepper, but I wasn't wearing a tie.
No, top hat.
Top hat Tepper, that's right. Top hat Tepper. And we were off on a corporate event because our parent company, McLean Group, had their quarterly meeting. And you and I have been to a couple of these quarterly meetings before. Mm-hmm. And so our company, I can just tell you here's just a full look at what our company does. We have McLean Group has a bunch of different companies, including this one, but then also like other outstanding companies like McLean Global and McLean Classic Foods and stuff like that. And so one of the things that we do every quarter is they get together and kind of we all report together to the big boss people and tell them, hey, here's how it's going. But one of the things, and I think this is really admirable, one of the things that our chairman is really passionate about is saying, okay, if we're all going to get together, we might as well do something useful. Mm-hmm. And we might as well, he's very big into like leadership training, which I think, awesome, fantastic. Not everybody goes to every one of them, as far like I've cycled through a few of them, you've cycled through a few of them. But some of these trips, some of them, they end up saying, well, we're going to go and we're going to do like on-site leadership training. And they like to loop it into historical events. Mm-hmm. And so in the past, I know that they have been to like where they had like the Battle of Bighorn. Yep. Right. And they've been a lot of battlefields, right? I think they did Gettysburg. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah. A few other places. But this time, they did something a little bit different. It was a different kind of battle. Mm-hmm. But we went to Selma, Alabama. Selma, Alabama, of course, where the Edmund Pettus Bridge is and the kind of famous, infamous maybe, incident in the civil rights movement that happened there in 1965. And so you and I, Pickle, along with Brooke, our CCO, and our president, Adam, and then a bunch of other people from McLean Group who are all a lot more business people than we are. Mm-hmm. This one. Hi. We were in Alabama we went out there Monday. You came in Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And then we were there until Thursday. And yeah, I thought I'm really interested in your feelings on it. I found it very affecting.
Oh yeah. I think the thing that you and I had specifically talked about when we were walking around Selma is I feel like a lot of times when you go on these historical trips, whether that be here in the U.S., maybe over kind of in Europe and doing that kind of stuff, sometimes it's hard to really immerse yourself into it because everything looks different. Either you're in a battlefield and you've never been to war, so you can't, it's hard to put yourself there, or you go places and you see like, oh, this might be a really old historic church, but then there's a McDonald's right next to it. So it kind of feels, but Selma, this stuff didn't happen all that long ago. There were multiple people on the trip that were alive when this was going on. So it's like, it's recent history. But when you would look at photos of what happened in these specific places, those exact same buildings are there. The town looks the exact same. The courthouse is the same. The church where they all congregated was the same. The bridge is the same. It was like, oh no, like this like really happened here, and it was very recent.
And the other thing for me, because I think that point's super well taken, I never served my country in the military.
Neither have I.
I don't think you did.
No.
Either. We never served our country in the military. And so when you go to these battlefields, sometimes it's hard to like put yourself in the mindset of a soldier, right? it is not hard to put yourself in the mindset of a citizen, and these were citizens.
These are
who
just
were
normal people,
just dudes and gals
who wanted the right to vote.
Right, who wanted the right to vote. And it was a really powerful experience. We did a trip. We stayed in Selma, and then we walked across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And then we went on over to all the way to Montgomery, stopping along the way at a couple different places. There were a couple of centers run by the National Park Service that I thought were remarkable.
They were awesome. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word to use.
Yeah,
but
I know exactly what you mean.
They portrayed everything that they were trying to portray incredibly well, and a couple different films too that you could watch. You want to talk about like giving you a real good dose of exactly what happened. It was you left and your stomach turned.
Yeah, and it's something. It was very affecting, very powerful, and I would. It's hard. I'm really glad we went because I don't think I would have gone there otherwise. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to say you should go on a trip to Birmingham or you should go on a trip to Selma. Like it's hard to justify that because it's not a tourist place. I'll just tell you. But it is like really powerful experience and a really integral part of American history and a really integral part of a civil rights movement that continues today. And I thought it was really, there are things, it's funny, like there are things that we viewed it from a leadership perspective and the people that were kind of the guides here, General Rick Lynch and his company, they tried to very much like harness the leadership aspects, and there are a lot of those. I got a lot from that, and I also got a lot from the just power of that moment and that time in history of how it helped to shape what America is today. It was a really powerful experience, and so if you're ever in that neck of the woods,
take the trip to get out there.
It's fantastic. And so there's that. That's very important. You should do it. Hard divide, right? So Alabama State University is in Birmingham.
And their football facility.
I'm sorry, in Montgomery.
It's Montgomery.
It's in Montgomery.
UAB is in Birmingham.
Yeah, thank you. Where we took the bus that they in fact marched there, and we got to one of the places that we stopped was in Montgomery, and it was.
There's a really cool interpretive center on campus that's all about the civil rights.
And Nat King Cole was like born there?
Yeah, that was awesome. Really cool.
Like out of
his
nowhere,
house is right there.
Out of nowhere, they're like, that house over there, Nat King Cole was born there. We're like, what? But Alabama State, of course, famously, my favorite college basketball team. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to be there.
We got to go, the gate was open at the football facility.
We love an open gate, don't we, folks?
Yeah. It's 27,000. It was so nice.
Oh, so nice. Look up Alabama State's football stadium. It's
really
awesome.
Good.
Beautiful campus there. And I got a shirt, and I got Mallory a shirt.
Mallory was very pumped about that.
Pumped. Anyway, so if you have the means and a way to get to Montgomery, get to Selma, it is very, very much worth your time. I'm glad I'm glad I had an excuse to go.
Yes.
Like, I think that's kind of where I'm at on it. So, fabulous trip, and grateful to our company for thinking big in that way. So, anyway, enough of that. Hit the theme, Expo. Yes, y'all. This camera. From the new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show with multicam. My name's Greg Tupper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. This is why we can't take shows off. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting in this chair in this room, sitting over there in a different chair in a different room with a bunch of computers in front of her. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305, back from her walkabout, which led her to Houston. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends.
Hi, Ashley Pickle.
How are you?
I'm good. Is that the first time you've flown as a Spraggins?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it messed up this is such first world problems.
Let's do it. Here we go.
It messed up my pre-check, so I can't get TSA to call me back. So I had to put my dogs on the airport floor because I wore sandals because I'm like, oh, I have pre-check. I don't have to take my shoes off.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Oh,
nasty.
no.
Nasty.
The dogs were loose?
I had to let the dogs loose with no coverage.
Who let the dogs out?
It's Ashley, it was cold.
Ashley Spraggins.
Yeah. I become a Spraggins and all of a sudden smells like broke, you know?
I told you it was a bad idea from the word go.
Luckily, I had my ID right, so I could fly, but it wasn't under the best conditions.
Tough. Although, don't let her cry poor to you. She got upgraded to first class for both flights.
I did.
Today, it's on like a little regional jet. Today is Monday, April 21st, 2025, 220 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to James McAvoy. He is a person. As well as happy birthday to Tony Romo.
Oh, nice.
Tony Romo, America's favorite color commentator. I don't know, Jim. Turns 45 today. It's episode 1853, it says on the monitor. On today's show, folks, we got headlines from across the state, including a legend comes home to his school district and a Dave Campbell's Texas football cover boy, literally the most recent one.
Right over your shoulder. Makes
a big splash. That's a tease. We'll get into that. And then back half of the show. Oh, I'm sorry. We're also going to be announcing the winner of the 2025 Dave Campbell's Texas Football High School Football Stadium Challenge, as voted on by you, the nerds.
The nerds showed out for this one.
Yeah, you guys did. You guys are passionate.
People are really passionate about stadiums.
I'll just tell you this, like, look, we're a company, we're trying to get your clicks, and so we always have these brainstorms of like, what can we do to like get people to be interested in coming to the site? I know, get people fighting about high school football stadiums. That's the answer. That's going to be our whole marketing plan now. We're going to announce the winner coming up here, and then back half of the show, Greg Powers will be sitting in that chair right there, talking This Week in Recruiting, the biggest news and notes from the recruiting trail across the state of Texas. So stick around with us. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do, as I lost my tab.
She lost her tab.
Jersey number 69, nice. Ed McElroy, Lau Good, and Matthew I'm not going to...
No.
Matthew A.
I thought you were doing a bit. I thought it was Matt Stepp.
No, I don't know how to say this Matthew's last name.
No,
sorry, Matthew.
Join the club of all of the guys whose names you don't know how to say from our comments. Between Lowell Good...
No, Lau.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm sorry, Lowell.
It's almost a rite of passage if I mispronounce your name.
Welcome in, friends. Yeah, all you people named Dan Smith are in for a tough go. All right, let's get some headlines from across the state of Texas. Let's start with a couple of coaching changes. We'll start down there on the coast. Actually, this is going to be a very Galveston Ball heavy segment of headlines. Down in Galveston Ball, you may remember that they've been looking for a new head coach ever since Sheldon Benight left there. Sheldon Benight did such a fabulous job there. He left to go take over at New Caney. That job has been open since mid-March. That job is now closed as they have hired Clear Springs offensive coordinator Amasha Brantley to be their next head coach. This is a guy who's been the offensive coordinator at Clear Springs the last couple of seasons. This is his first head coaching job, but it's a bit of a rebuild that he's taking over. Even they were 9-3 last year. We'll talk about one of their stars who's off to the next level here in a moment. But I think this is a guy who is going to be a really, really interesting hire. He's got some good pedigree there. He was a student assistant at Sam Houston under Willie Fritz. there before Willie Fritz went off to, now he's the head coach there at Houston. Spent time as a grad assistant at what was Texas A&M Commerce, now A&M, now East Texas A&M, and Northwestern State. And then he's kind of bounced around the high school football world for a while, now landing his first head coaching job there. I think this is a really nice hire there for Galveston Ball. Amasha Brantley is a guy that we've known to put up some big numbers there. So if you like offense, I think that's coming to the coast. Galveston Ball has found their next head coach. Now, I mentioned that a Dallas legend is coming home. Let's talk about Dallas Gateway Charter. Okay, Dallas Gateway is an interesting, just obviously it's a charter school within Dallas ISD, and they have hired a DFW legend to be their next head coach. Byron Eaton is going to be their next head coach. Of course, he led Dallas Lincoln to a state championship game appearance in 2004, and as a freshman was a part of that Dallas Lincoln basketball team that is known as perhaps one of the greatest basketball teams in Texas history. Mm-hmm. He went on, of course, to a really nice career at Oklahoma State, where he averaged 14-6 there for the Cowboys. He does take over at Dallas Gateway. He is promoted from within. He was an assistant on this staff. Got promoted from within. They joined the UIL in 2010. They've kind of struggled. They've had just one winning season back in 2014. They're 2-6-1 this past year. But I will tell you that from a name recognition perspective, Byron Eaton is one of the highest profile name guys now in Dallas ISD. He's the new, or rather in kind of the Dallas schools, I should say, as Byron Eaton takes over there at the Dallas Gateway. Now, let's go to Little Elm. Stay in the DFW Metroplex. Little Elm has we don't report usually on assistant coaches unless it's super high profile, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's just too many. Guys, there's 1,500 high school football teams, and so if we did the coordinators, that would be 3,000 coordinators, mm-hmm. okay? Let alone if we did all the assistant
coaches, yeah.
Right? It would be
We're
very
already
tough.
trying to keep up with all the players.
Very tough. So it takes a lot for us to talk about a offensive line coach getting hired, but Little Elm has hired Joe Looney to be their next offensive line coach. You may remember him as, Dallas Cowboy Joe Looney. He started 42 games over 8 seasons in the NFL. Back in 2018, when Travis Frederick went down, he was thrust into the starting lineup, and the offensive line really didn't miss a beat. They won the NFC East, went 10-6, reached the divisional round, etc. Little Elm coming off of a winless season. They haven't had a winning season since 2017. Keyston Alexander, you may remember, took over from Joe Castillo. Interested in seeing what this will. They will have a high-profile name on the staff there, as Joe Looney is going to be the new offensive coordinator, the new offensive line coach, rather, at Little Elm. Interesting to see how that works out, but certainly a big name coming out there. Let's continue. Let's talk about what's coming up this weekend, Pickle. Mm-hmm. You got plans? What are we doing Thursday night?
We're watching the draft.
We're watching the draft. Me and you?
No.
Okay. The NFL draft starts on Thursday. It's now a 3-day extravaganza because everything's made for television. And there will be a number of big-time names that are drafted from Texas. In fact, we've got a number of great stories up about them on TexasFootball.com. Guys like Shador Sanders is going to go almost certainly in the first round. Cam Ward from West Columbia may in fact go number 1 overall. There are big names not only from the high school football ranks but from the college football ranks that we'll be keeping an eye on all throughout there. Next Monday we'll have a full recap of how the NFL draft went for Texas high school football players, but big names coming there in the NFL draft this weekend.
We'll have a lot of good social media coverage of it too.
Mm-hmm. Finally, let's talk about the gentleman over my shoulder. Look, I did it.
Wow.
Kind of, right there. That guy. Blurry over my shoulder. That gentleman is the former Galveston Ball standout Jonah Williams. And Jonah Williams, you may remember, used to be at Galveston Ball. Just finished up his senior season playing football at Galveston Ball. He signed with the University of Texas. He enrolled early, right? But one of the things, if you read the cover story of the 2024 Rising Edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, you will know that he is a two-sport star. He is obviously excellent on the football field, but he may be even better on the baseball diamond.
Yeah.
And when you enroll early, a funny thing happens. You're eligible to play for the baseball team. And so imagine our surprise this weekend when starting in left field for the Texas Longhorns, this guy.
It's crazy.
Jonah Williams, whose graduating class hasn't even walked the stage yet. And all he does in his first two starts for Texas, I think they played Auburn.
I think that's right.
Goes 5 for 7 with 3 RBIs.
Good Lord. The kid's just an athlete. At that point.
The kid can do it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, I'm not saying that he went 5 for 7 with 3 RBIs because he was on the Rising Edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That would be ridiculous.
But I'm not saying that it's not possible.
I'm not saying, though. Just saying. Congratulations to Jonah Williams, who started off his outstanding baseball career there at Texas. Excited to see what is next for him. Those are some headlines from across the state of Texas. We're here at Texas Football today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Hope you'll consider going to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. If I look tired, and if I look increasingly tired over the next 6 weeks, is because I'm not sleeping, because I'm trying to put together, along with our team, the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, which you can get mailed to you.
Wow.
In your mailbox.
Wow.
If you become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. You also get a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Live. You can watch baseball, softball.
Yeah, softball playoffs start this
There
weekend.
is no way. What?
Yep, we're here. Baseball will be the week after that.
Oh, my gosh.
We do have regular season baseball and softball games happening early this week, and then playoffs. Here we go. Final stretch.
Oh, God. Time's a flat circle. That's coming up, TexanLive.com. You can watch all those games. And then, of course, when the fall rolls around, you get hundreds and hundreds of live Texas high school football games, including hundreds of live Texas high school football playoff games live on your device if you go to TexanLive.com. Makes a great gift as well. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Now, Pickle, we've got a very special thing we get to do. Mm-hmm. Over the past 4 weeks or so, we have been running the tech on TexasFootball.com. We've been running the Texas High School Football Stadium Challenge, and in which we have we put a bracket together of 64 different. Was it 64 or 32? It was 32. I think it was 32. 32 different brackets or stadiums, and let them fight to the death. By which I mean you guys voted, and over the course of the last few weeks, you guys have logged a grand total of 130,000 votes.
That's crazy.
On TexasFootball.com. And after what can only be described as a brutal final, we have a winner of the 2025 Texas High School Football Stadium Challenge.
And boom!
Bang! It is the Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville is your champion of the 2025 TexasFootball.com Stadium Challenge. It was a fabulous event there on TexasFootball.com.
And a well-deserving winner. I
love the Tomato Bowl. I think it's great. I think it is one of the finest stadiums out there. It's one of those. I love an old stadium, an older stadium, and this was obviously built during the Works Progress administration back in the 30s, and it's been kept up really well. The Tomato Bowl, the winner of the 2025 TexasFootball.com Stadium Challenge. Thank you for voting. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out Tomato Bowl.
Coming up in just a moment, Greg Powers will be here to talk This Week in Recruiting.
Finally.
But first, a word from these valued partners.
Hi. I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well, Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Joined out here by Hayden Gunner at Denton High School. Man, it's a big day for you. You got your decision coming right now.
After a lot of thinking, with the family talking, stressing out.
Let's see exactly where Malik Hawkins is going to be heading.
First off, I want to start by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be blessed with all these opportunities.
Got 5 schools he's choosing between. We're about to find out who it's going to be. Got your teammates, coaches, family, friends surrounding you, so you couldn't have a bigger stage right here to announce it on. So without further ado, we're going to go to the man right here, Kobe Foreman. Who's it going to be?
I will be attending.
I'll be committed to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Texas A&M.
Stanford University.
The University of Oklahoma. Yeah.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
Back here on Texas Football Today, I am Greg, that is Ashley, and great news. If you like Greg's, we've doubled your order of Greg's.
Let's go.
It's Greg Powers. What's up, dude? How's your weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is that a tough question?
No, that's a great question.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Easter ham? You know I'm in my zone. I smoked 2 hams.
Oh, nice.
Not just one.
What a king.
2.
Just a bonus ham.
So it was
just a side ham. How's your side ham?
You got to say it like Stepwood. His bonus.
Yeah, bonus ham.
Bonus ham.
Bonus ham.
What's he gets? He gets the bonus enchilada. Shout out to Step for introducing the bonus of anything.
I watched him get a bonus bacon wrapped hot dog in the RGV when we were eating tacos. I left to go to the bathroom to wash my hands and came back and he had a bonus bacon wrapped hot dog.
What a legend.
He's listen. We don't elect kings.
Step respect.
We don't elect kings. They're just given to us. You want to talk a little recruiting?
Let's do it.
I'm Greg Tupper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Recruiting. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express.
Sorry.
Chicken Express.
Worth it.
Chicken Express. If you can't smoke a ham.
Or a bonus ham.
Or a bonus ham. Go to Chicken Express.
Agree.
I just think, like again, if you can smoke a ham, smoking a ham's great.
But also still go to Chicken Express.
Also still go to Chicken Express.
You can live your absolute best life.
This is America. You can do whatever you want.
Granny, I apologize for this, what I'm about to say.
Oh, no.
But the only thing that was missing on Easter that we had last year that we didn't have this year was a chicken eat rolls.
Oh,
That's
man.
where...
Yeah, you know what? My because my mom made a ham, and she served it on Hawaiian rolls, which are great. I want to be clear, but now I'm thinking about what a missed opportunity it was.
I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I sat down in this chair today, and I was like, oh,
that's it. That's that emptiness that I feel inside. I get that. I understand it.
Don't let your soul have emptiness.
I also ate ham.
Get you some Chicken Express.
You also ate ham?
Yeah, Mallory's grandma made us a ham.
Oh, rad.
It was sick.
Did you serve it with Chicken Express rolls? But you weren't.
No, they actually they got well, the butter at least was the Texas Roadhouse butter, like the cinnamon kind of.
Nice.
Oh, it was real good.
Go to Chicken Express, get their rolls. Also get their chicken, but get their rolls. It's This Week in Recruiting. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise. I'm glad we're getting an opportunity to talk about this young man.
Me too.
It is Lexington 2026 quarterback Case Evans, who this week picked up his first and second FBS offers.
This was a surprise. When I turned in the This Week in Recruiting, he didn't have the second offer.
He got an offer from UTSA, Jeff Traylor, early adopter. I think just known as an early adopter. And then today, Florida Atlantic offered him. And so now, Case Evans there has two offers there. It is about time. The only way I can describe this is this has got to be 3A, I don't think it's intentional, but 3A bias in the sense of he's a small school quarterback who puts up these big time numbers. But then you flip on the tape and you're like, oh, this guy is the real stinking deal. I love Case Evans.
I really like him too, and we've had the opportunity to see him up close and in person during the state qualifying tournament runs last year, and then at the state 7-on-7 tournament in College Station. And he always had tremendous pocket presence, poise, and a repeatable and consistent delivery. And I think where his game has taken an uptick this spring, I got to watch him at the Elite 11 camp a few weeks back. His arm strength is better, and I think it's just behind natural development, natural growth. I mean, he's a legit 6'2.5", 6'3", pushing up around 200 pounds now. This is a big dude, right? And I think when we first saw him throw, he was probably 6'1", 175. He's added some to his frame, and that's noticeable on his fastball.
Here's the other thing about Case Evans, and you know that I'm going to go back to this because this is the way that I think about recruiting. I just think this kid's a winner, and you can't really teach that. I mean, this is a guy who went 12-2 last year, then went 9-4 the year before. I mean, this is a guy who has been just consistently putting his team in a position to win, consistently putting up big-time numbers. I mean, they averaged almost 50 points a game last year.
3,113 yards and 37 TDs last year. And you don't necessarily think of them as a powerhouse. I don't know. At least I haven't, because they've had really good running backs in recent memory. I always think about Lexington being a run-heavy team. But then I see Case Evans' numbers, and I'm kind of shocked about his production and the leadership is there. So he checks all the boxes. It's happy to see him get on the board with a couple of these big offers, and I think they'll keep rolling in throughout the spring eval period.
I also just think that, and we've now gotten to the point that if Jeff Traylor offers a Texas high school football quarterback, you should sit up and pay attention.
I also think they have to be careful about who they offer, because people do pay attention. People do pay attention.
If we can sniff it out, then I guarantee you the head coach at Mississippi State can sniff it.
They're strategically recruiting and making offers. When they make an offer, it's pointed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's roll on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to North Crowley. This is going to stun you guys, but North Crowley's got a dude. North Crowley safety Aaron Bradshaw this week, a 2026 prospect, now a 2026 commit to Texas Tech. The Red Raiders haul in the outstanding safety there from North Crowley. They beat out TCU, LSU, Houston. I mean, this was not an uncontested commitment here. They had to fight for this one, but Texas Tech earns the commitment of Aaron Bradshaw.
This is a fun commitment to me, and here's why. Aaron Bradshaw, 6'3", 190 pounds, is one of those guys who can kind of do everything. And North Crowley's going to be looking for some experience to bring up into the box now that Jonathan Cunningham is gone. So I'll be interested to see how Coach Gates and co used Bradshaw within the defensive schemes last year. He finished with 36 tackles, 4 interceptions, a couple of forced fumbles, and 3 PBUs last year, and he's already rated as the number 7 safety in the DCTF safety rankings for the class of 2026. So this is a big get for Texas Tech, because He not only plays for a bona fide and proven winner, 6A Division I state champions last year, the North Crowley team had a very talented team, but he also picked them over conference rivals in Houston and TCU. So that's a big win. That's a big win right there for Joey McGuire, and especially, I mean, like North Crowley, we kind of think of them as a TCU school, so feather in the cap.
Really, really nice get there for North Crowley. And one of the other things is, you know, I know last year, obviously, the North Crowley offense was like the headline grabber. Let's not overlook how good that defense was, with Aaron Bradshaw a key part of what they were doing defensively en route to that state championship.
And if they're going to run it back, those are the guys they need, because they're bringing back a lot of depth on defense where there's some question marks on offense. I think that they'll be fine.
Somehow
they're going to be fine on offense, but I think if you wanted to say, here are some question marks, they have to replace Quentin Gibson. They have to replace Chris Jemerson, even though they do have some depth and talent coming back up front and in the backfield.
Let's round it all out with our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, we're going to South Houston High School in Pasadena ISD to talk about their defensive end in the 2027 class, Xavier Muhammad, who picked up an offer from TCU last week. He's already got offers from the aforementioned Texas Tech, the aforementioned UTSA, Houston, SMU, kind of blowing up here, and it's easy to see why when you flip on the tape. 6'4", 230-ish. As a guy who was playing a huge role for South Houston as a sophomore last year, only getting better, and a guy who is a name you need to familiarize yourself with. I know 247 Sports has him as a 4-star already, and yeah, this guy is a dude.
So does Dave Campbell's. He was on the initial 5-star watch list, so we have verified a lot of the talent that he brings to the table by putting him on that. So he's in the mix for that 5-star status, and that's because he's so athletic off the edge. He's a tremendous basketball player.
Yeah, he put up like 15 and 12 last year.
He's really he's really good at hoops, and to me that speaks to his upside as a prospect, and I think that's why you saw 24/7. They were actually first to name him a 4-star. He was on, in their initial rankings. And that's when he popped onto my radar because I didn't know much about him at that time. But since then, everything I've seen about Muhammad has been really good. Backs up what he brings to the table on the gridiron with the athleticism that he brings to other sports. And then at the Under Armour camp, he was one of the best dudes there. And it was because of his quick twitch, but he also has the hips. And you don't hear a lot of people talk about hips when they talk about defensive ends, but it's really important. He can bend the corner naturally, and he's just going to be a monster.
He is a monster. He was spectacular as a sophomore there for South Houston, and he's only going to get better. And he's also a track guy. Like, he kind of ticks a lot of the boxes, and I'm glad he's on our kind of 5-star radar there.
He's just starting to scratch the surface of his football potential. I think this year is going to be like an eye-opening year. His tape is going to I predict his tape is going to be really strong this season.
Every year is an eye-opening year for Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. See, I paused there because Sam's going to go and clip it, and that's like a really nice way to stop it right there. But if he includes this part, it'll be embarrassing. Let's go to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but softball playoffs coming up on Texan Live later this week. We've got regular season baseball, ton of really good baseball teams being highlighted on TexanLive.com. So go check that out.
Yeah, there's some big doings on TexanLive.com. Texan Live never sleeps.
No.
You guys got stuff going on. And then it's like, don't you guys do a bunch of graduations too? Golly.
We got women's football coming up too.
What?
On Saturday. The Houston Mambas.
The Houston Mambas? Watch that on Texas Live on Saturday. Go watch it. The Houston Mambas. I might watch the Houston Mambas.
There you go. Football's football.
Football. You know what? Many people are saying football is football. And we like football.
We do.
Do you like
and I'm not afraid to say it.
I love football.
Clip that.
Please.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at GPower or DCTF. You got me all confused. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Greg Powers and Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. You got me. He's got me off kilter. We'll see you Thursday on Texas Football Today, I hope.